Hello firearms friends, we're back. Show you even more guns for our February 16th through 18th Sporting Collector Firearms Auction. As you can see, there's going to be some toys on the table today. Now I know I've been harping at you the last few videos about the increase in quality for our S&Cs. You can look forward to that all year long. I got good news and bad news about that. The bad news is I'm going to keep harping about it until you come to the facility and see it for yourself at the new facility. The good news is that means there's a lot of really great guns in our S&C auctions. This case in point, including Class 3s and NFA items, usually those are reserved for our premier auctions. No longer here in this February S&C, there's over 30 NFA items, all fully transferable, and that is a fantastic opportunity. One, if you just like Class 3s, there's only a limited number of those, so it's a really good chance to invest in those if you want to, and it's a heck of a way to set up your next range day. So let's take a look at this increase in quality M3 grease gun. Guide lamp M3 grease gun. Love seeing it in a Sporting Collector firearms auction. Of course, these started 1942. US jumps on the bandwagon for these, cheaper to make, stamped metal, yet highly effective submachine guns. Result, M3. Of course, called grease gun because it looked like the grease guns of the time. Effective, of course, lighter than the Thompson machine gun, cheaper to manufacture than the Thompson, likely quicker to manufacture than the Thompson, still firing 45 ACP, so you're not adding additional rounds or changing logistics changes either. Now, this one has been fitted with a modern suppressor, and I'm okay with that in this instance because there are M3 grease guns that were fitted with suppressors, so by high standard, they would take the Guide Lamp M3, a suppressor by Bell Laboratories, and then they were seeing use by the OSS, and they would continue to see use in fields all the way up through Vietnam. So a really cool way to get your piece on kind of a rare piece of history, or just an M3 grease gun. Either way, a suppressed one with the additional weight of the suppressor, that barrel's not going to jump around a lot. That's going to be a lot of fun at the range. A neat piece of history, especially the early M3 with the charging handle on the right-hand side. Fantastic gun to have on the table. Let's take a look at the next one. Well, we talked about the Thompson, so it only makes sense that the next one on the table is going to be a Thompson submachine gun. Doesn't need a whole lot of introduction, of course. This is a model 1928, and you can see a marking on my side over here. It's US model 1928, but it's a A series model 1928. It has an A suffix on the serial number. That means it's one of a production run that was produced in the 70s and 80s. And by all accounts, it's a near perfect continuation of the original production run. The fit, the feel, the weight, the finish. I mean, you run that bolt and that's as smooth as you would expect a Thompson bolt to be. So fantastic. All the great features, the classics that you love to see on a Thompson, from the cuts to the rib barrel to the foregrips, before the A1. Absolutely fantastic. And because it's not the original production run, you're going to see a very nice decrease in the estimate. So instead of paying for the original production one, the estimate on this Thompson submachine gun with this level of fit and finish, $13,000 to $19,000. That's a remarkable opportunity to pick up a Thompson. And you can see a little wear just up here by the charging handle. This one's been out to the range before. There's a little honest wear on there. It lets you know that somebody had a pretty good time with it before. Also comes with its FBI style case, 4 drum mags and 10 stick mags. So you can load up once and fire for, at least a good 10 minutes before you run out of ammunition. Let's take a look at the next gun on the table. Next on the table, we're returning to the sort of cheap yet effective stamped subgun genre. And it's a shape you may recognize, of course, from this big, distinct, square, skeletalized buttstock you see under a lot of names. This is the Carl Gustaf or the Swedish K. Very effective in this sort of genre where it's simple blowback, open bolt, full auto only, 9mm. It's sort of all the things you're going to come to expect, and very effective, very reliable gun for the Swedes. And because it was so effective, you see it sort of rearing its head in any number of iterations. You have the Smith & Wesson Model 76. You have the MK Arms 760. We even have several of the manufacturers who licensed them sort of after the fact. There were even a couple of illegal copies in South America. Obviously, we don't have those in the auction, but whether you're looking to collect the Swedish K, whether you're looking to collect any of the different variants, or you just need a good, reliable, and relatively inexpensive subgun for the range, the Swedish K is definitely a solid choice. Let's move to the next gun on the table. There are also a wide variety of the MAC-10 platform available this February. Mac 10, M10A1, the M11, M11A1, the M11-9. All of them are a great way, of course, to chew through your ammo budget, but there's also some neat history there, with Ingram and even with Mitchell Verbel III developing the suppressors. So with all that history and a lot of fun, but they're also the easiest way to enter into this NFA Class III market. In the world of NFA items, these Mac 10, Mac 11s are incredibly affordable. It's a great way to enter in there. Plus, if a Mac 10 is good enough for John Wayne in McHugh, then it's good enough for you too. Let's take a look at one more bonus selection of the NFA items, and I think you're gonna like it. And as you can see, firearms friends, it's not all subguns for NFA items in our February Sporting Collector auction, although to be fair, it's mostly subguns. But there are two mortars that are going to be offered that weekend. One is a Japanese, I believe, Type 89 knee mortar, which in case it ever needs clarifying, you should not use on your knee. And the other one is this, an M2 60mm mortar. Comes with a lot of great accessories, and I mean, developed in the 30s, it is a pin and a tube. And that's it. Lightweight, or at least lighter than some other options, heavier options. Shot farther than a lot of our adversaries, and that's why it allowed it to see just such a long service life. Like I said, from World War II all the way through Vietnam, the M2 is seeing service. Its simplicity, its ruggedness, and its sheer effectiveness is what allowed it to stay in service for such an extended period of time. It is just one of the over 30 ways you can add a little more firepower to your collection in our February 16th through 18th Sporting Collector Firearms Auction. Can't say it enough. The quality's even better. Come see it for yourself on our preview day. That's February 15th. All day. We'd love to have you there. You can see all the listings on rockislandauction.com. Until then, until we see you there, keep your powder dry.